今年的 IWC 在 Watches and Wonders 表展上发表了新版 Ingenieur 工程师表款，将这个在1955年首度问世，而在1976年经由设计大师 Gérald 巧手改造的款式，在调整设计之后重新推出，做出了和原版不一样的细节呈现。IWC 在设计出新版 Ingenieur 的过程中，思考过哪些细节，又做出了什么调整呢？一起来看看我们的采访报道。
Yeah, we dedicate this year to the relaunch of the IWC Ingenieur line. Ingenieur is a really incremental part of our portfolio, and we're launching 4 new models in 40mm automatic, 3 Hans watches, 3 in steel, 1 in titanium. The design is based on the iconic Ingenieur design from 1976 from Gérald, but it's also a new interpretation. So our aim as designers was really to create the Ingenieur of the 21st century. Not to copy the historic design one-on-one, but to carefully take the design DNA Gérald has formulated in the past, and combine this with a couple of new insights and details we would add to the modern Ingenieur. Yeah, as I said, the design DNA of that line is so strong. It's when it comes to the silhouette of the case, the characteristic bezel, the H-link bracelet, and also very powerful dial design. So our work was really in improving on the overall case proportions to improve variability and ergonomics. And one of the most remarkable details is changing the bezel, which historically had 5 bore holes, and we now change it to 5 screws that are functional screws and allow us also to perfectly align and orient the bezel. Next to that, the entire case finishing has been reworked to really underline the extreme precision and the sharp lines of that design. We have satin finished surfaces with polished bevels, with polished edges, and we also added a crown protection to align the sports watch character of the piece. And then the entire dial design has been revisited to first feature the modern logo, the IWC Schaffhausen logo, but also to balance this out with a very sculptural case of the watch. The historic watch was featuring already a kind of grid pattern on the dial. However, we completely reworked this pattern in terms of sizing, in terms of proportion, and we also choose a different technical execution. And this dial is embossed, and we combine this embossing of the texture with a grinding process. It gives very sharp lines, and also on the top surface a beautiful sunburst effect reflection the original piece didn't have.
而这一代的新版工程师搭载了 IWC 的自制机芯，在设计初始讨论改版细节的时候，有考虑过透明底盖的可能性吗？
We discussed using a crystal back on the Ingenieur, but we were not able to combine this with the magnetic protection. And as the magnetic protection has been always one of the key features of the original Ingenieur, especially the core collection automatics, is that we decided for this soft iron inner case and for the 40,000 ampere meters protection instead of a sapphire back. I mean, the original watch from Genta had 40mm case size. Back then it was an enormous size. This is also what it got the nickname the Jumbo. For our current understanding, the 40mm size is a perfect size to speak to men and to women. It's a size we believe has a place in our portfolio. And this was also one of the reasons why we worked on this model and only the 4 reference in the first instance, because they're absolutely complementary to what we have in Pilot, Portuguesa and Portofino. All these collections are predominantly strap watch collections, also from the history of those collections, leather, textile, rubber, but we are missing this full integrated sports watch, steel on steel, which the Ingenieur represents.
近几年，表界的高级运动表纷纷推出一体式整合链带的款式。IWC 为何选在今年才推出 Ingenieur， 进占这一块运动表市场呢？
Yeah, I think that was not a specific choice for this year, but I think the watch really continues actually what we did over the last 2 years of planes and cars and all kinds of decoration. Now we have a car as well, but that's not the central talking point. But we really want to give full attention to the brand and to the product, and also tell what makes IWC different than any of the other brands. Ingenieur really embodies what we stand for in terms of engineering and pure design. And everything you see in this lab 70s design style inspired environment is very much what our culture is in design and engineering. It is this very pure and crisp lines, the contrasting colors, black and white, bold typography, and a very technical approach to watchmaking, not only to present the product, but also to tell this story about the brand.
IWC 在2年前推出43mm 新尺寸飞行员系列的时候，同步搭载了表带快拆系统 Easy Change， 之后也在系列中逐步扩大快拆装置的使用。那么，身为今年主力系列的 Ingenieur， 设计初始有没有考虑过导入快拆表带的设计呢？
We decided that this watch is a steel-on-steel watch. I mean, there is no point in having an ease exchange system. We have sufficient watches with ease exchange. We have sufficient watches with straps. But what we're lacking is exactly that integrated steel-on-steel watch. And also on this particular design, we believe that people deciding for this design, they want to wear it on a bracelet and not on a strap.
今年的 IWC 顺应着 Ingenieur 的设计架构，打出形式与技术的口号。Watches and Wonders 展场也很有看头的，以复古未来主义向70年代致敬。
What we did here at the booth is to bring to life a bit the spirit of the era when Gérald worked on the Ingenieur, the 70s. Designers in all industries, be it furniture, electronics, cars and watches, were embracing new materials, new technologies, and the 70s was really an era where also these designers created a very bold vision for the future and found the aesthetic expressions in so many products around us. And what you see here with the furniture from Vitra, from Eames, from Dieter Rams, the Brown hi-fi installations, the Brown TVs, the Mercedes concept car from the 70s, and this was the spirit and the atmosphere when the Ingenieur design was created by Gérald. And we want to remind of that futuristic tech-inspired era and also present the Ingenieur as a kind of bold vision for the future. I think the next step for IWC is first really to bring this message from Geneva out in the world, to bring this to our retailers, to bring this to the attention of our end customers. Depending on the resonance we get and the reactions, we will definitely think about the future of this collection and the size and the expansion of this collection in future.